Charms, enchantments, and infusions are very, very important in Nightingale, and today I'm going to be giving you a brief overview on how you can get your hands on them, what each of them do, and some of my favourite ones that you should be adding to your gear to take full advantage, because not only do they add gear score to the items, but they also increase the damage, the durability, or other useful components to that item as well. So this is going to be super useful. If you do go on to enjoy the video, please do drop me a like and a subscribe down below with the notification bell on. I'm going to have tons more Nightingale content coming to the channel very shortly, so stay tuned for that. And without further ado, let's jump into it. So from a basic perspective then, what do they actually look like? Well, the feather icon ones here are the charms. The ones with the green, blue or purple backgrounds are the infusions, and the star looking icons here are the enchantments. Essentially, infusions will give you a increase to some sort of rating, so you can see here the range rating, or durability, or maximum health. The charms will give you some sort of perk, so for example, Charm of Blood. This charm increases the power of the wearer's enchantments, but harms the wearer with each enchantment use. Then you can have things like Charm of the Bounty. This charm grants the wearer a chance to increase the amount of material harvested from any plant life. And then you go down to your enchantments. So these are actually spells that you will cast from said weapon or item. So you can see here an Assassin's Sight. This enchantment reveals weak points and bolsters damage of critical strikes. The duration increases with the caster's magic power. So, for those of you that may have been wondering so far what the point of magic power or items that give you increased magic power is, it's to bolster these enchantments. These all work by simply pulling them into your inventory, and then you will right click on them, click apply and choose an item. So we can pop one on the hat here. You can see that gives us plus 10 ranged rating. If we apply that infusion, you can see it's given it a couple of extra item level points, and you can see that it has under the magical section range plus. So you can see which ones you actually have available for you. Now, if you want to apply a charm or an enchantment, it's exactly the same. You go ahead and apply it and select the item that you want to give it to. This one is giving me a chance to increase the amount of materials harvested from any plant life. So I'm actually going to go ahead and apply this to my backpack. I think that'll be really useful. And then they are simply applied like that. You can go into your inventory, you can have a look, and it will bring open this section on the right hand side that tells you the perks that are currently active. Now, you can see here, if we go ahead and put this Charm of Meditation on the backpack as well, you can see that it will replace the one that we had on it, so you can only have one on at a time. If you see here, we go back and place this other one back on it, Charm of Bounty, you'll see that it simply replaces that item. So you can't actually have loads of these equipped, so do bear that in mind if you are trying to apply them. So these items will not only increase your gear score, but they will give you different bonuses and different buffs. You can, of course, equip things to the weapons. You can see here I have, under the magical section, I have range plus, which is the purple variant, or the tier 3 essence variant. And then I also have the perk Charm of the Sniper here. If we have a look at the axe, you can see I have melee damage plus and critical damage triple+, so the blue and purple variants respective. I also then have Quake on here, which is a spell, which is an enchantment, and this is a very useful enchantment. How do you get hands on with these items then, these charms, enchantments and infusions? You're going to want to go to your Enchanter's Focus. Now, you will be able to find these as well from around the map, looting, especially in chests and that sort of thing, but you can actually craft them in your Enchanter's Focus at your main estate, in your Abeyance realm. Now, you may not have an excellent one, it depends sort of what stage of the game you're at. Obviously, I'm towards the end game now, so I have got the maximum level of stuff. But basically, it will show you inside these which ones you have available. So for example, you can see here, let's say Charm of Force. This one, it'll tell you the description of it in the bottom left. So it says, this charm greatly boosts the power of the wearer's shove after blocking an attack. And then it will tell you what items are required to make this. If you click on an item, a stone ball will held together with plant. So you can gather from that, you're probably going to take this and build it at the masonry table. And then the Charm Twine with hand characteristic. That is obviously going to be at your spinning wheel. So just to give you a little example of that, if we go over, obviously we're on the loom rather than the spinning wheel, but you can see all of those charm, threads, twines and braids are in this section here. And then if we go over to the refined masonry bench that we've got down, you can see that rough bauble here is there, and also smooth bauble, which we're going to need for some of the higher level stuff as well. So respectively, the loom or the spinning wheel, and then the masonry bench. Now you can also see that we have enchantments on here. These are what require the weak human seals or the moderate human seals, etc. Again, those can be made over here on the masonry bench, so you can see moderate seals there and weak seals there as well. And then you can see, of course, infusions on here too. These are just require essence. Now, the way these work in order to get them in different tiers, let's take critical damage, for example. You can see here, if you pop in tier 1 essence, it's going to give you 2.5% critical damage when you put it onto the item. If we then put tier 2 essence in, you can see that goes up to 5%. And then tier 3 essence goes up to 7.5%. But obviously, you've got to have the correct amount of each resource in order to build these. You simply select the one that you would like. So, for example, critical damage on tier 3 essence, and I will click craft. Again, if you haven't unlocked that level of essence, you can just do your maximum one for now. And then we go into the inventory and we can see that it's here. So we can go ahead and click apply, and we can put that onto my pistol here. Click apply, and that will give us an 8% critical damage. Now, the reason that that's slightly more than what the base value stated is because of the materials that we've used to actually build the revolver. And if you want to know more about how you can maximize your crafting, go ahead and watch yesterday's video that I uploaded. That goes into detail on how you can maximize your crafting and things like that. But essentially, that is how you build all of these different things. So you can simply go through and pick out the ones that you would like or that you think are going to be the most helpful. Now, for the ranged weapons, so the guns, I have found range and critical damage to be some of the best ones. You can see here that when applied to equipment, this infusion provides an increased attack range, which is really, really good, particularly for the pistols because they do drop off. Also very good for the shotguns. And then obviously critical damage just provides increased critical damage. So if you are headshotting or heart shotting, you're going to have a bigger damage buff when you do get those points. You can also find other interesting and useful ones here, such as durability for your tools. You've got strength for melee weapons, magicka if you do want to buff the power of your enchantments. And then you can also get things like stamina, regen, and encumbrance, which I've been finding very useful when going out and gathering. In terms of charms, Charm of Essence is a really cool one. After slaying several creatures, this charm will manifest an essence. This is really, really nice if you are trying to get extra essence, especially when you get up to a new tier and you do want to unlock more of this quickly. One thing to note is if you actually scroll all the way down underneath your cards, you can see here all the realm cards that I've unlocked. If you scroll down underneath that, there's some more charms and enchantments down the bottom here. These tend to be the ones that are then available with your augments, not just the table itself being placed. So if you can't find something you've unlocked, do scroll down to have a look for it there. And these, again, have some really, really useful ones. Charm of the Leader, for example, grants increased damage and health to the wearer's survivors. So that actually means that your helpers will do more damage and have increased health. You've got Charm of the Healer, which causes the wearer's attacks to heal their allies. This can be particularly useful if you are playing co-op. Bruiser here, you can see charm increases the wearer's damage based on their momentum towards the target, and so on and so forth. So you can go ahead, look through these and find your favourite ones. In terms of enchantments, Shockwave is very, very good, especially when you get to end game. Slight spoiler for anyone who isn't here, maybe just skip the next 10 to 15 seconds. But when you do go into those apex vaults once you've reached the watch, this is going to be very useful because it provides a lot of CC, so it stuns the enemies, it makes them staggered, which means you can go ahead and hit them, and you can also get some infusions that make you do more damage to stunned enemies, so this can be a great little combination to make you do some extra damage in those higher level areas. I also have enjoyed Illumination for some of the caves, especially when you're looking for coal and sulfur, which primarily are found in caves. This has been quite useful because you can create a light source for it. You've also then got Recovery, which again is great. It rapidly heals the caster and can be charged for a more powerful effect. The amount healed and the duration increases with the caster's magic power. So again, if you increase your magic power, you're going to be able to heal yourself for a fair bit. And then we've got Hermetic Flame here, which means this enchantment engulfs a tool in flame, dealing fire damage on the next hit and may be charged for multiple hits. The strength and duration of these flames increase with the caster's magic power. Now, another question I know a lot of players have had is, can you apply multiple enchantments to the same weapon? And the simple answer is yes, you can. So you can go ahead and apply those. If we go ahead and click apply on this recovery spell here, you can see my axe that already has the quake spell on. We've got 2 empty slots on this one as well. So we can go ahead and apply the spell here. Now, what we do if we switch to the axe, and you can see there would be my earthquake spell. So if we go ahead and throw that down, that's the earthquake. That actually damages and stuns enemies. I'm just going to move out of this room though because it can be quite loud. If we hold down the R button, you can see I can now switch between quake and recovery. So if I go ahead and pull recovery out, I'll be able to use that spell instead and then swap back to quake whenever I want to. Now you can have up to 3 like you saw there on the axe. So that means you can switch between these spells during your fights and during your adventures to best suit your current challenge and make the most out of all of these enchantments, infusions, and charms. So that is going to be it for this video. I just wanted to share with you all the importance of charms, enchantments, and infusions in Nightingale. They are absolutely essential. They will increase the gear score of the item you are holding or using or wearing, and they can provide some massive benefits that if you are finding any part of the game particularly challenging, they can certainly help you to overcome. And on top of that, they can also give you some really cool and nifty benefits and bonuses which can help you progress through the game even if you're not finding it challenging, which just simply make it more fun. So be sure not to sleep on those. If you have found today's video useful and informative, please do drop me a like and a subscribe down below with the notification bell on, because I am going to be posting tons more Nightingale content here on the channel very shortly, so stay tuned for that. Other than that, I would like to thank you for watching, and I'll catch you again very soon on a brand new upload. Take care and peace.